fun. It's engaging. It's Chattin' with Chelsea. She's daytime's new bestie. Here's your host, Chelsea Edwards. Come back to me.
Hey, besties. Welcome to another episode of Chattin' with Chelsea. I'm your daytime bestie, Chelsea Edwards. Today, we're giving you a show that I'm pretty sure you have not seen before. Okay, many of us have gone through divorce, right? We've talked about it. But today, we're digging a little deeper. We're getting into custody battles, all right? Breakups, they're already messy, right? But custody cases, they don't necessarily have to be, or at least we hope. So we've got the single mom attorney and our life coach, Alana Higginbotham, in the building. They're gonna help us keep our cool in the courtroom and at home, all right? Lots of tips for you today. Now, the way I try to keep my cool is send up a prayer. Y'all know I'm divorced, so if I am having problems, I'll try to send up a prayer. But have you ever tried to pray after you and your ex have gotten into it? Because I'm like this, dear Lord, he got me so messed up. I'll try to take a beat, reel it back, bring it back. Okay, dear Lord, help me to help you to help him see that he got me messed up, okay? Or I'll try to go to the word, read a little Bible, get some scripture in there. Dear Lord, your word says that we should not argue with fools, so help me to keep my mouth closed when he is over here giving me a hard time about pickups and drop-offs. Amen. We'll see if that prayer is answered. But things can get especially complicated if your ex still has a thing for you, just like the single mom attorney says.
I wish I had $1 for every time I heard, everything was good between me and him until I got a new boyfriend, And it's like everybody has that one friend that has the baby daddy that's still in love with her. And it's obvious. Those are the ones that say, you better not be bringing another dude around my kid. And it's like, you know what, my dude, you gotta wrap your brain around the idea of a blended family. They can be beautiful. Let's get there, right? And in the meantime, let's stop stalking her. It's getting weird. Putting trackers on kids, doing weird things with the iCloud. I see that a lot. I don't know how y'all do that, but y'all do it. You don't have to come inside of the house every single time you drop off and pick up the kid. It doesn't have to happen. Nothing wrong with waiting on the porch, my dude. Some boundaries would be nice. You gotta fall out of love with the baby mama. You've got to do it. It's getting weird. It's just getting weird.
It is. It can get weird out here. Oh my goodness. Thank you for coming on the show, Gianni Avalos, the single mom attorney. Oh my goodness. So you see all sorts of things when dealing with custody cases and divorces.
100%. I feel like I've already lived through like 200 divorces and I'm not even 30 yet. I love it.
It's also amazing. You're young, but you have so many people who look up to you because you have your own story of how you became the single mom attorney. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm Gianni Avalos. I go by single mom attorney and I practice family law here in the state of Texas. So that includes divorce, child support and whatnot. But I go by single mom attorney online because I sue baby daddies for a living. Okay. No, but in all seriousness, I am a single mom and I'm an attorney. I have a son. And so, it speaks to who I am.
Yeah. So have you had to use, you were already through law school when you got your divorce?
Yeah. So timeline wise, the way it worked was I was pregnant my last year of law school and then I sat for the bar exam. I had already had my child. So basically I took my final exams and then a week later I had my child and then another 2 weeks later I walked the stage. So I was actually very I have to get myself scheduled for an induction because I'm not going to miss walking the stage. So it was all very planned.
Wow.
Planned to the extent that it could be because it wasn't planned either.
Yeah. But you are doing it. I mean, amazing to see you balance all of this. We're always fans of single moms like myself. There's a lot to do. And then when you're an attorney and it's even more so because you're getting into it with these clients. You really get to hear the parts of their lives that they may not typically share with other people. Some of that craziness.
100%. I always was just really into marketing and I was I want to start a brand that just not only speaks to who I am, but like speaks to the clients that I am looking to attract. And I want to attract people that I can relate to, because I feel like that makes me and my team better advocates, because we know exactly what they're going through. So we're not out of touch, and we don't just see their case as like a transaction. We're very much like, no, like you said, you know, they're getting into it at the pickups and exchanges. You know, they're fighting over like, is it this Buc-ee's or is it that Buc-ee's? And so, you know, it's like we just have the patience for them, because it's like we've been through it before.
So how do you deal with your own baby daddy?
Oh my gosh, with my baby daddy?
Yeah.
Girl, listen, he should have been sued like 20 times already. No.
You got the credentials.
I know, I do. I'm like, let him try. Let him try.
He got me messed up. Okay.
Like, respectfully, all of my cases are going on hold, and team, we're going over here.
Yeah, we're going to handle this.
Exactly.
Are all of your clients women, or do you sometimes get men as well?
Oh, yeah, we do. We do. And it's actually kind of funny, because like the men that hire us, they'll either be referred to us by like our female following, or they're just like, you're intimidating, and like, I want to hire you. And so like, before she hires you too. But I mean, I've had those dads too, where they're like, how do I get out of paying child support? I'm like, you go to another firm. I'm not doing it. Like, so exactly.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We appreciate that.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. What do they give you some pushback if they say something like that? Like,
so like, you know, I mean, and realistically, if they were to want that kind of like requested relief, I'd be like, okay, well, what's your possession and access? Like, if you don't want to pay child support, and what other ways are you showing up as a dad? You know what I mean? Because if you're just trying to come to this firm and underclaim your income and say like, I don't make anything and give me a modification, we're not the firm, because I know how to see when that game is being played, and frankly, we can play it better, you know? And so I'm like, but truthfully, it's just whenever they want to come to the firm, and we recognize that they're present fathers, and you know, they're showing up for their kids. They're like, I really want to be involved in my kid's life like 50% of the time, because I coach the little leagues, like I do the pickups, like I'm, you know, calling the doctors, and they have a good co-parenting relationship with the other side. It's like, absolutely, like why would we not want to give that to a child? That's beautiful.
Yeah. I love to see the dads, because they also need some help with the legal as well, because it could be, you know, the other side being more difficult. So I love that you help us all.
Everybody.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and then you're going to help us all some more when
you.
we're dealing with these cases. So you guys keep it right here. Well, go ahead and grab your pen and your paper, because there's a lot of tips coming your way. We'll be right back.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chattin' with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Welcome back. We've got Gianni Avalos, a single mom attorney here. You got some tips for parents going through these custody battles. Like they often make the same mistakes that you see.
Yeah.
And one of them you say is the mom assuming she has the upper hand because she's the mom.
100%. Yeah. So often, they'll make this, they have this like idea that, oh, I'm the mom, I don't have to save everything, I don't have to keep the receipts, they're just gonna believe me. They know that a child should be with the mom, and that's not the case. Like, we're seeing dads every single day like win custody because like the mom doesn't save the receipts, they don't do their homework, they don't, you know, they just over-assume, and that's not the case.
So when you say save the receipts, because that applies to everybody.
Correct.
We're talking about keeping track of, you know, when they're seeing the kids and all that.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things, one of the most common things that I hear in consultations and with our clients is like, he's inconsistent. And so my follow-up is like, well, I can't put you on the stand and say, like tell the judge that he's inconsistent. It's like, we need actual like examples. Like, if you're gonna say that he hasn't exercised a Thursday since, you know, 6 months ago, but he has you at the edge of your seat every Thursday to see if he's gonna pick up the kid, and now you want to modify to take away a Thursday, it's like, well, then write down when the last time he had a Thursday was, you know what I mean, when the last time he actually exercised that possession, because then whenever we do go for a modification, we're not taking anything away that he didn't already exercise. You see what I'm saying?
Got it. So this is even after, this applies even like during the divorce, but also after, if you're going back because you're frustrated about the agreement.
Correct. Because in Texas, so like let's use that example where like maybe you're about to file for divorce, but you've gone through this like period of separation, right? And at that point, the court's gonna really wonder like, okay, what have y'all been doing like informally during this period of separation? Like, what has this child gotten accustomed to? In other words, like, what is the status quo? Because when the court goes to order something, when y'all can't agree, they're gonna say, well, let's try to, you know, minimize the disruption as much as possible for the kid. So if y'all were doing week on and week off and that's working, or you can't prove that it's unworkable, right? Then like, let's keep that going.
Okay. All right, so you brought up text messages.
I know.
So I feel like we should point out, like, people have to be careful about what they're putting in these messages.
I tell the clients, I'm like, look, you know how whenever you're like getting in trouble with like your corporate HR or something, the way the corporate HR, like, they take all the emotion out of it, and they're just like, look, like, this is what we're telling you, and it's very direct and we're very to the point. If he's messaging you all these like harassing things, it's like, weed out all of that and figure out what's relevant and then just respond to that. But then meanwhile, on the other hand, I'm like, when my baby daddy texts me, I'm like, that all of that goes out the window for me. So I'm like,
so you're not taking your own advice.
No, I'm like, and then that's why I sympathize with the clients, because I'm like, okay, I get it, but we cannot be putting that in writing, because you don't want to put anything that you don't want the judge to see.
Right. Yeah. It can get emotional, but you gotta see. That's why we're gonna have a lot of next helping us with that. Okay. So also, does social media play a role with it? Because I do see cases where the parents are going back and forth on social, but there are some other things that can be involved in that as well.
Yeah. Well, and then it's like, you know, the one of the biggest issues that we have is like an underclaiming baby daddy, like, oh, I lost my job, I don't make any money, and blah blah blah. But then it's like, okay, but you're going and you're popping bottles, and you just bought the new 2025 like truck. So it's like,
and whose yacht is this?
Yeah, exactly. Why did you just go to the French Riviera? Like, I don't get it. But then you bring your bank statements saying like, I've got $100 in my bank account, and I'm like, well, the math isn't mathing, first of all.
You're right.
And you're gonna tell me that I can't prove it in the court of law, but you're over here proving it in the court of public opinion. So it's like,
anything could be used.
Right.
That is a good thing to keep in mind. Text,
a lot can be used.
Social,
a lot.
all of that.
A lot.
What are some other things to keep in mind going into this, or things that we need to avoid doing?
I think that when the relationship just gets so disparaged, it's very important to remember, like, no matter how much of a case that you may have in court, at the end of it all, there's a child at the center of it. And so I tell the moms, like, if this is really just you putting the child through this like litigation and back and forth because you don't like the new girlfriend or something, like sometimes we just have to put our pride aside, because that's one less thing that the kid has to worry about, and it's one less, you know, trauma. I just do your best to put your pride aside. There's a reason that you're not together with your co-parent anymore, and like recognize it, accept it, and then just try to be good co-parents to the kid.
Yeah, because it's not always the men. We mentioned being like the difficult ones.
Exactly, exactly. I have situations where, like, even with the moms, they'll be like, well, no, like, I'm gonna block him and I'm gonna do this, this, and that, and I'm like, well, that's not going to look good to the court. Like now it looks like you're, if not withholding, like maybe alienating the kid. And so it's just a lot of reality checks, and they do have that perception sometimes that like, well, I show up for the kid more, so like I do no wrong. But the court does not see it that way, you know? Yeah, they're gonna look at it from every angle. Yeah.
So you have some moms who try to withhold those visitations. What's the basis for that, or what are they saying to justify that?
Well, a lot of the times it'll be like, oh, it's a safety concern, or oh, like he picked him up like 20 minutes late or something like that. And so, or oh, he didn't bring the right car seat, and you know, and so we see a lot of the same reoccurring issues. So what my firm likes to do is we really like to pride ourselves in like including special provisions as long as the language is enforceable. Like we've had plenty of judges sign off on like, okay, if this is such an issue, then like dad, make sure that you come with a car seat, and if not, like you forfeit your time, and or you're gonna have an hour window, right, the first time that you forget it, to go get one or something like that. Because now it's like there's rules to the disagreement, which means now you don't have to hire me again, which is great.
Yeah, we're hoping that they don't need to hire you. Okay, and then just to help with keeping track of all this, you have your receipts book, receipts book.
I do. So this is the receipts, and it just goes back to what I said, where like the moms would tell me like, you know, he's inconsistent. So I'm like, okay, well, write it down. Like, tell me, you know, it has like calendars to document, I guess, like when he sees the child, but also like at the end of each month, it also includes like incidents. So sometimes the children, like they'll come back to mom and dad's house and they'll be like, oh, well, you know, this happened at mom's house or this happened at dad's house, right? And it's like, okay, well, write it down. Maybe there was some witnesses, but more importantly, like I asked them in the journal, like, what efforts did you make as a co-parent to like resolve this? Because if I go to court and I bring this and I'm like, hey, like on this day you did that, and then he's like, well, she never even brought it up to me, that shows like bad faith co-parenting. And it's like, now you're just trying to get into court and you haven't even tried to resolve it outside of it. So it holds them accountable.
Wow. Okay, I love that. Thank you for these tips, helping us to keep it together in the courtroom on the legal side. Now we got to get on the mental side, because that's a whole thing. So we're going to bring Alana Higginbotham in to help us with that. You guys will be right back after this.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love your mind.
Here to to help us manage ourselves emotionally and mentally during custody battles, Alana Higginbotham. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome to me, and I'm so glad to see you again.
Likewise, you've coached us through all sorts of things.
I love every minute of it. Yes. You should know that.
And so now dealing with custody battles, it can get messy. I mean, we don't want it to be, but what are some things that you see that people, like men and women, need to keep in mind when dealing with this?
Well, I want people to understand that just because you believe you're the best fit, or just because you desire to be the main custodial parent, doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best fit for what this child has going on. Gianni touched on this, that a lot of moms believe that they're the best fit for a child just because, you know, historically, society says that. But the truth is, you may have a son who does much better, or he's at a stage in his life where he will be better suited spending time with his dad as opposed to you. And I think that oftentimes, because you're emotionally spent in a lot of these cases, and you're mad, this person has done a lot of things to you, and without you even realizing it, your main goal is to make them pay.
Instead of thinking about the child.
Instead of thinking about the child, but also you. Because a lot of times in life in general, but in custody battles, you want to win, and when winning means taking on more responsibility.
This is true. Yeah.
This is a point where you can get to a space where you can work out some sort of agreement that gives you a little bit more time, gives you a little bit more you time to get your mind together. Remember, you're coming out of a divorce. And so you are mentally and emotionally spent. Your husband is mentally and emotionally spent, and so are the babies.
Yes, and so you can be open to maybe something different than the standard agreement. Like it doesn't have to be like every other weekend. I've seen some cases where it's more half and half. It's more evenly divided. Or you're saying even if he may need more time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
He may need more time, and then you might find that it makes more sense to have these things in place, but leave a little bit of room for flexibility.
Yes.
Because although the court says this is concrete, maybe the two of you guys can come into an agreement that, hey, this Christmas, I'm going to take the boys, even though this is supposed to be your Christmas. Document that, put that in writing, that he approved that and that you were okay with that, and moving forward, because that's really what's most important.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so going into, let's say, divorce proceedings and trying to decide the split, what are some other things that we need to keep in mind? Even if we we're amicable and we want to stay that way, are there certain things we should think about when it comes to just making sure things stay that way?
Well, you want to document things. You want to not assume.
Okay.
I've seen in many cases where the woman will say, oh, I'm not going to put child support on him because I know that one thing about him is he takes really good care of the kids. He's a great dad, or should I say.
Okay.
And what she's really saying is he's a great dad in that he goes to practices and brings juice boxes, but he's been having trouble with his finances way before y'all even got together. And so he mismanages money to an extent that child support is necessary.
Yeah.
So you're going into it with this benefit of the doubt, like, oh, I know when it comes to the kids, but it's time for him to pay his portion of the child's insurance, or he's supposed to be paying the child's dental insurance, and you're 3-4 months behind because, oh, he can't do it this month. Just let's put everything that we possibly can in the hands of the court, because we want to automate it.
Got it. So it's already agreed upon. I mean, everybody has signed off on this,
Absolutely.
And this is what we can expect. And there's no animosity later on if people are not adhering. I mean, that could always happen.
Absolutely.
But it's in black and white.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
You decide in the beginning, let as much as possible be automated, and go from there.
Okay. All right. Anything else we should think about going into this, especially when we're trying to, hold it together? It's a lot of emotions flying around.
It is. It's a lot of emotions, but if you ask yourself, who do I want to be in this situation? And maybe you say, I want to be the kind of woman that takes his head off because he has been giving me the blues for all the years we've been together. But the truth is, you don't want that, because what comes with that is more blues. You're really playing into his ego. There's a lot of things. So at best, if you can treat this less like an emotional transaction and so much more like facts and figures, because facts and figures speak volumes. And if the stuff hits the fan, at the end of the day, the court can look at something that is black and white, just like Gianni said. It has all the information they need, dates, times, get that name fixed at the top of those text messages. And that way, everything is clear. You don't want to get into this emotional back and forth, because what's going to end up happening is the one person that's going to suffer the most is going to be the child.
Yes.
And you're putting yourself in a position where this divorce is now worse than the marriage that you had.
Yeah, and then you're in it. You're still going back and forth,
Absolutely.
trying to co-parent until that kid is 18 or longer.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so we're going to take a quick break.
Let's do it.
We got to come back with final thoughts from you and Gianni. Okay. All right. Woo, this has been good. Okay, guys, we'll be right back after this.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Thank you for catching this episode of Chattin' with Chelsea. Gianni, what's your final word for the folks out there?
I always just tell people, always remember that you don't divorce the same person that you married, and you're not going to co-parent with the same person that you divorce. So keep that in mind. Remember that there's a child at issue, and do your best to work things out outside of court. Court should be a last case resort.
Yes, Alana.
It's not about winning, it's about you getting a particular job done. Don't make the divorce process and the custody process more extensive and more hurtful towards you in the future.
Great stuff. Okay. Oh, I know y'all helped some people today. You guys got to keep up with us on social at Chelsea Show Fox. Wardrobe provided by Trezor Cachet Boutique. And we'll see you on the next Chattin' with Chelsea. I got the feeling. Come back to me.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Hey, it's your girl Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Coming up on We Sound Crazy.
Whatever you focus on grows. Whatever you put your lips to grows. And so I really don't spend any time looking at, thinking about, talking about the challenges. And my team members will tell you that. They'll come to me and they're like, this is the challenge. No. Here's the solution.
We Sound Crazy. He is one half of the duo Louis York and an award-winning songwriter.
Yes, sir. It's Claude Kelly.
He is an award-winning songwriter and other half of the dynamic duo Louis York.
What's up, y'all? It's Chuck Harmony.
Music executive and Renaissance man.
Hey, it's Billionaire.
Music aficionado.
What's up? It's Timon Bacon from Macon.
We Sound Crazy is your official backstage pass to all things music and culture.
On tonight's episode of We Sound Crazy, we're talking to entrepreneur and CEO of Uncle Nearest,